So, hello everybody, and welcome to the stream. Okay, and also good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. I'm Densuga. I'm Densuga, your host today for this launch, and we are still kind of in a bit of preparation, but however, all of it are still fine, and all of it are still good. So it is what it is. I don't have too much things to talk here, but well, it is what it is. Yeah, just I really want you to know that we are kind of a little bit chaotic here today, but it's okay. It's fine. It, it's just sometimes things happen, but it's okay. It is what it is. And yeah, for now though, for now we are going to go live here, and fortunately we can do this now, so let's do it. Okay. And yeah, let's go directly. We're not going to waste too much time. I'm going to say what I want to say here, so let's go, shall we? Okay, so I believe we can go right now. So hello everybody, and good evening from me, Denisuga, from Sarawak, from Borneo. Right now we are basically 8 hours ahead of the universal time coordinate. So for us, our time here right now is 11:38 p.m. here on 25 July 2026 on Saturday. So yeah, welcome. And and today I, Dennis Hua, am the host today for us to witness the launch of the SpaceX's Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket. They will be carrying Starlink Group 17-51. Obviously, this is a Starlink version 2 mini. Okay, this one carries 24 satellites for their destination to the low Earth orbit. Okay, specifically, which is 279 kilometers, or around 173.37 miles of altitude, with the launch inclination of 53 degrees. And yeah, each of it has a total mass of 525 kilograms. So if we use this together, okay, each is 525 kilograms. So if we multiply this by 24, so for the total mass payload for today's launch, it's going to be 12,600 kilograms, or should be around, okay, 12,600 kilograms to pound. Okay, so from the conversion, it's going to be around 27,778.27 pounds. Okay, if 525 kilograms each, it will have been around 1,157.43 pounds. So that's basically the calculation for the total payload mass for today. Yeah, for the total payload mass, fortunately, and it should be fine. Yeah, but anyhow, it's actually should be good in a sense of a way, and here and there as well. Yeah, and hopefully hopefully you can hear much more clearly. Yeah, okay, so we should be good. And anyhow, we are still waiting a little bit from SpaceX, but by now they should be going live by now. So we'll be waiting a little bit patiently. Okay. Okay, where's the launch itself? Are they canceled for today or not? Okay, that's pretty odd. They so we so we are still waiting just a little bit. So in case you want to know, I'm still looking from I'm st- I'm still looking for the link. Okay, so don't worry. You're just waiting just as myself did as well. And okay. Okay, so we are good. Okay, so we are good. I've already found the stream, so why not we also go with the stream itself. Anyways, okay. So we're still we are going to go properly live here, waiting signal from the SpaceX itself. And yeah, because they also go live, so we are kind of little bit waiting here. It's around this one, in case you really want to know. Yeah, that's why I said this one. It's on this splash logo, in case you want to know. Okay. Okay. So we are still waiting for their transmission. Okay. She'll be ready. And in case you want to know, all of the just in case you want to know, this Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket, I don't think you really need that kind of introduction that much, but just in case you just in case you're still wondering and probably not completely in the sync about all of this stuff, Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket is basically, as far as I know, it's basically the last major upgrade of the Falcon 9 rocket itself. Yeah, and also we are not including the Falcon Heavy. If we just count one solo rocket itself, basically Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket is already the last upgrade that SpaceX done with their Kerolox based rocket before eventually they move on with the Metalox rocket. Okay, Metalox actually stands for the okay, in case you want to know, the Kerolox actually Kerolox propellant stands for liquid oxygen as the oxygen and the okay, and here we go. So we are finally live here, and of course we are live from the. Of course, this will be launched from the Vandenberg Space Force base. Okay, from the launch pad of Slick 4E, okay? Or essentially, you want to know, Slick actually stands for Space Launch Complex, and 4E stands for East. So this is where the launch will be going. And yeah, I can say it's okay. It's also quite typical weather, almost almost kind of typical weather in Vandenberg as well, because so- because sometimes the best way you want to know if it's launched from the Vandenberg is that you just straight up just look at how the scenery looks like. Okay, just look at the scenery, and also basically by looking around the foggy kind of area. Once you figure that out, you get that idea. Okay, and we are getting ready in for the rocket engine chill or basically cool down. Okay, so basically they
We
already
are what we call
yeah, so they
Indonesia,
have already
close
s-
to the little islands of
yeah, they have already
the
start the infomercial here. So
Starlink has changed our
okay,
lives out on the land. Where we are
okay,
from, we're
so
so
we are
isolated, and the
still
Starlink has helped us connect to our family back home
okay.
when we're
Thanks
out
to this, I'm
fishing for
able
days
to
at a time.
properly troubleshoot
I
whatever I need.
have seen and heard people being stuck out
Okay.
on the land, and they brought Starlink. And that was
Okay.
the only way they have communicated when they need help.
Okay. I believe this is
It's
should be good.
very
Okay. The rocket engine chill, aka the cooldown of the rocket engine has already started on the first stage. Okay, to ensure that whenever it will try to ignite, it's not going to pose any kinds of problem here and there. So yeah, and I've already realigned again. It's apparently it. Okay, so apparently, yeah, so apparently for whatever reason, there the quality does not entirely. Okay, okay, so I've already readjusted. Should be good. But anyhow, is what it is. Okay, so this is basically the Twitter slash X back end problem there, kind of. And that's why you see why it's quite a little bit weird here and there. And just in case you want to know, just like I said, Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket, it's basically doesn't need any kinds of introduction, but just in case you want to know, just in case you are living a little bit under the rock, and which I'm not entirely fault you in the first place because okay, so pressing for the strong back retract. So basically, the strong back retract helps keep the rockets properly intact there. Okay, so get ready for the strong back retract. You will see it's going to the neck area around the between the between the payload and also payload stuff and also with the
Strong back retract has started.
okay strong back retract has already started. You will see it's going to retract one by one around the neck area between the payload avionics and also the payload and also the propellant. You will see it's going to retract its yeah kind of strong back arm there. Okay, you can see that small arm there. It's already retract, and then eventually, the real strong back will properly retract in preparation for the ignition and liftoff later on. And yeah, the engine chill, aka the engine cool down on first stage rocket engines has already long start. Basically, the process is really simple. It's actually to ensure that by the time it ignites, it's not going to melt the rocket engines really that fast, and you don't want that happens because otherwise the missions will be in the total failure, and it's not going to be able to deliver all of this Starlink to the proper orbit alignment wise, and also altitude wise as well, and to the appropriate operational state as well. And yeah, in case you want to know, all of this rocket is two rocket stages. Okay, the first stage is literally reusable, as maybe some of you already know, but maybe some small amount of people don't know that first stage is reusable, but the second stage is not. But how and also I can say the pellet firing, even the pellet firing is also reusable on mostly on most each flight of this Falcon 9 launchers. Okay, but pellet firing is usually you're not going to see it happen on live because, anyways, most of it are not in the category. How do I say it? Very spectacle to watch. So usually they don't focus the pellet firing recovery in the stream. But however, the first stage recovery usually will be prioritized for the mission itself here and there. So basically that's it. And of the of the two rocket stages are actually uses the Kerolox propellant, the liquid oxygen as the oxidizer, and the super refined kerosene, aka the rocket propellant one as the as the fuel itself. And it's actually and due to the how complex the hydrocarbon is, it's lots of very long complex chains of carbon and hydrogen only consists of it only. So of course when it ignites,
Ground gas pulls out.
it's going to produce this orangish reddish color. Okay, and also with the and also because you want as maximum performance as possible, you want as low molecular mass as much as possible when it's ejected out from the rocket engines. So inevitably it's going to produce the carbon monoxide
Falcon 9 is in startup.
s- yeah, carbon monoxide suit, and also some carbon element as well. So and that's why you sometimes going to see like that, but especially on the flight. But anyhow, the rocket engine
Launch director, go for launch.
okay, the rocket has already gone into startup, and launch director has already been properly given go for the launch itself. So we are getting ready. And yeah, and Falcon 9 Block 5 is the last iteration
T
upgrade
minus
that
30 seconds.
SpaceX done with the Carolox propellant. So now they are most aside with the Falcon Heavy, and then now focus on even the recent development of the Metalox propellant. Liquid oxygen is the same oxidizer, but
T minus 15
fuel
seconds.
swap with the liquid methane. Okay, T minus
10,
10,
9,
9,
8,
8,
7,
7,
6,
6,
5,
5,
4,
4,
3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1. Ignition of 9 Merlin 1D
Liftoff of
rocket
the Falcon
engines.
9, for
And
SpaceX
we have
Starlink.
liftoff from the Vandenberg Space Force Base. Liftoff from the Space
Vehicle
Launch Complex
description
4
sent.
East from Slick 4E,
MO
launching
starting
the
countdown.
Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket carrying the Starlink Group 17-51 with the total mass on the payload. It's total mass of this payload 24 satellites, which will have been around 12,600 kilograms, or each of the satellites will have been 525 kilograms. And you can see on the view itself, especially on the optical tracking view here,
Power
T
intake
plus
selected.
46 seconds into the flight, everything looks pretty nominal, and it already reaches subsonic, m- more than Mach zero point 0.5. By that point, the Merlin 1D rocket engines on the first stage already throttled down to the 60% throttle bucket there
Falcon 9 is
to reduce
supersonic.
the pressure, especially when it's already going into this max Q, maximum aerodynamic
Max
pressure,
Q.
fully. Yeah, that's the call out we want to hear. Fully exerted on the rocket itself. That's basically the maximum pressure point to the rocket itself. There's, how do I say it? There's some kind of a little bit complication stuff here and there to say about it,
Back chill.
but to make it a bit easier, it's like there's certain point when you reaches that certain altitude with certain speed, certain velocity more than Mach 1, obviously you're going to encounter this max Q, especially if you're building much larger rocket like this. But usually if you try to launch something way faster, max Q will be kinda early-ish, something like that. It can be also slightly delayed as well, depending on the configuration. But we are not going to worry too much about the complicated side of s- kind of stuff, but you get the idea of what max Q is based on very simplified explanation that I can give as much as possible. And we are getting ready in, yeah, as much as possible. So we are getting in
Miko.
for the Miko. Okay, already Miko. Main engine cutoff,
Separation confirmed.
and on the first stage, and stage separation is already confirmed. And get ready for the second
About to
stage
start up.
engine start number one. And we have SAS1 there with ignition m- on the vacuum Merlin 1D there. This one is basically the same kind of rocket engine uses on the first stage, but instead of clustering it together together into 9 Merlin
Fire
1D like
separation
on the
confirmed.
okay. So pellet frame separation is already confirmed. Yeah, usually they separate it around 90, almost 90 kilometers up upward of altitude for this Starlink, because it demands maximum performance to carry all of this very very heavy payload, even going to the low Earth orbit, so that's why they separated very early. Usually on the usual rocket launches flight, anything that's not Starlink, it will actually separate around, even at bare minimum it would have been around, I I I guess even the best one which would have been around 100, 105, 103 kilometers, like that. That's the absolute bare minimum when they want to try to do it. But usually, but for the Starlink, usually they will target at least below 90 kilometers or around 90 kilometers plus, like that, and then they will separate the payload fairing halves there, as you can see on the left, on the right side view of the camera. Okay, you already briefly saw it falling around. Okay, and you can see on the first stage the velocity is already increasing back 7,218 kilometers per hour. Altitude is, I believe, already reached, at peaks should have already been around 114 or 115 kilometers. Okay, that's usually once the velocity is no longer subtracting gain, let's say for example from 50 to 40 kilometers per hour, something like that. Usually by the time it's going to that point, that's basically the sign. Once the velocity added back again, usually that's the signs it's going to reenters back. And as you can see on the first stage view, all looks pretty good. Okay, and second stage looks pretty good. The second stage velocity is 12,200 kilometers per hour, and altitude is 148 kilometers. That's pretty nominal. Still counting up. 149 kilometers, 12, yeah, 150 kilometers, 12,800 kilometers per hour. And the first stage, okay, already passes by to the international space defined boundaries. The carbon line already passes by 100 kilometers, and by the US defined space boundaries already went us back 80 kilometers, or around 60 miles for the international boundary.
Which one?
80
Yes, I see.
80 miles or 100 kilometers. So we are getting ready in for the entry burn start. The first set ignite,
Entry burn startup.
followed by another two sets of the Merlin 1D, bringing total 3 of 9 Merlin 1D engines to ignite. That one, the entry burns are actually initiated just to slow the rockets down and to ensure that it will be able to,
Entry burn shutdown.
so it's not going to get all of the maximum brunt out of the atmospheric drag and whatnot. As it's basically applying that kind of max q kind of knowledge, but in reverse, kind of like that, if, in case you really want to know. And so far the grid fin, it's actually steering pretty good on the first stage, but that grid fin it used before it uses the titanium alloy, like SpaceX already uses in multiples of, already uncountable hundreds of flights. Back then they used to use the carbon fiber build, okay, the carbon fiber build, but at some point they consistently saw that it's constantly going to chip off. Basically it's going to eat lots of things here and there. Basically
More
it's
transient.
way super ablative, super chipping out of the materials, to the point that SpaceX decided, once they evaluate the data, they decided to just scrap off this carbon fiber and replace it with the titanium alloy on the fin. So that's basically the story of it.
Stage 2 FTS has saved.
Okay, already gone below Mach 1, already gone transonic before that. And here we go, landing burn start on the first stage booster. Okay, you can see it's transiting by the
Stage
cloud.
2 terminal guidance.
Okay, stage 2 terminal guidance. Everything should be fine. Should be FTS safe. On the second stage, the flight termination
Entering into
system
flight.
should have been safe. No longer need to be activated. And you can see there. And here we go, S back to the, of course, I
Launch
still love
confirmed.
you on the autonomous drone ship there already properly landed back on the first stage booster. So once again, it's already done its job. And we are getting ready in. The velocity should have already gone 27,700 kilometers per hour up more. Okay, already reaches that initial orbital target there. And
Vent
that's
shut down.
okay. The Merlin vacuum rocket engines on the second stage already done its job. So that's really good.
Nominal orbit insertion.
Okay, nominal orbit insertion, at least on the initial first stage flight. So yeah, so that's basically it. They already done its job. The velocity is 28,571 kilometers per hour, and altitude is 137 kilometers on the initial parking orbit. So already done the job. That's basically it for the stream of days. Yeah, for the stream of today, not much else we can discuss. This is basically already as the Starlink flight. It's basically as routine as it can be. So yeah, not much else we can comment much, but by but at some points should be around 1 hour plus. Oh, sorry, 1 hour plus from now, we shall be hearing the official statement from SpaceX regarding whether or not the Starlink properly done its job or not. So basically, that's another story as well. But anyhow, so thank you so much everybody for watching. And so apparently we don't have too much stream for this week, fortunately. Yeah, I mean, fortunately, in this very yeah fortunately on this very late June, fortunately we don't have too much things to stream up out stream up here. We've already finished the live, so I'm closing that up. Okay, so we are not going to have any kinds of stream up until should be up until Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday. This is in my local time here in Sarawak in Borneo. So we are 8 hours ahead of the universal time coordinate. Just to give you some context. Okay, so on Wednesday 7:50 p.m. here local time. Okay, this one I believe this one should be for the SatNet if I remember correctly. Yeah, for the SatNet Leo or Space Cells. Yeah, or Space Cell, either these two. But other than that, that should be it. And our L95, also another launch as well. This one is the spy reconnaissance satellite. Not much else information we are getting to know, but is what it is. And also another one, Starlink Group 17-52 on Wednesday 10 a.m. Yeah, but since this has already become way too routine, usually for the Starlink launches, usually I will only reserve it for like once in a while kind of stuff, rather than making it like every month must be like what. No. Usually nowadays I just approach it in the kinds of possibly every quarter where I will stream it. But of course, even when I try to stream this kind of Starlink launches, I will allocate like this one, allocate for Cape Canaveral, from the Cape Canaveral launches, and also from the Vandenberg. Yeah, from the Vandenberg as well. So usually that's how I alternate. After that, for the longest time, you're not going to see any launches of this. Mostly I'm going to go some other channel as well, especially to the space affairs where usually I'm going to comment there here and there. So yeah, so keep an eye. Possibly I'm there to just talking, because why not? And yeah, for and then another one for the Thursday, 9 a.m. Long March 6A. But again, pretty much anything that's usually around the usually not launching around the Wenchang. Yeah, not launching from the Wenchang area, which is located around the Hainan Island, China. Usually anything that's interior inside the China, it's going to be very challenging basically chance to even see such kind of stream basically very slim to zero. And so far the only content create, how do I say, to even say content creator, it's more like spaceflight enthusiasts as well. Okay, but in a team, not like myself just keep doing this kind of one 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 man one man a solo kind of endeavor. The only one that I can name off on the top of my head that literally will try find a way to stream this kind of stuff, doesn't matter which places in China. Usually it would have been that space doggy guy. Yeah, TSDG. So in case you are very interested to see that kind of very deep kind of launches from China, sometimes you can try your luck from the TSDG channel. You might get it, but otherwise sometimes you can get it, sometimes you can't. That kind of Chinese state secrecy here and there. Yeah, it is what it is. Not much else you can do. If you're lucky, you might see a very rare rocket launches, but I mean, not really rare rocket launches, more like it's already become routine inside the China. But the problem is that anything that's not from the Wenchang rocket launches, I can say good luck. That's it, practically good luck. You, it's either TSDG I might get it, or you don't have much of the luck to watch it, other than just hearing the typical Chinese state media official statement. That's all. That's all you know about it. But anyhow, I don't want to talk way too much. Okay, so basically I believe that's much it for this month. Okay, and for the August, okay, Starlink Group 17-53 on Saturday 10 p.m. here. Okay, but again, obviously I've already have using a lot of these Starlink launches allowance right now, so I'm not going to stream again for possibly for another 3 months or 4 months, or even at bare minimum 2 months. But let's see how it goes. Hopefully I don't have to stream it much, because it's not the main focus anymore. Plus it's kinda getting stale this day, so it is what it is. And anyhow, another one is the Long March 8A rocket here. This one I believe either the SatNet or the space sail, either these two. Other Unless stated otherwise, for the Long March 8A launches from the Wenchang Space Launch Site from Hainan Island, China, 4 August, 4:50 p.m. I believe there might be rocket launches, but most of the time usually they have. Okay, and for this one, Michibiki 7, aka the QZS 7 launches. Okay, quasi zenith satellite, yeah. Okay, or quasi zenith system. Okay, 7. This one will be launching on board the H322S rocket configuration from Tanegashima Space Center, located in basically or basically around the southernmost point of Japan. So on 7 August at 3:30 a.m. So I need to get myself ready as well, because this is pretty early morning. So why not? And another one which will be, okay, it listed here 6 August 2026, but time could have been changing as well. We see how it's going for the onward and upward mission of the Spectrum rocket by ESA Aerospace. This one will be launching from the Andoya spaceport, although it uses the former name Andoya Rocket Range, which is located in the Northland Norway around the Arctic area. Yeah, so another launches as well. Okay, and also another Long March 7A launches. It could have been either SpaceX or SatNet, or could be another secret, or could be another secret Chinese military satellite as well. Who knows? This one, 9 August at 7 p.m. And in case you watch this in the future, this is in the context of 2026, not on the other year around. Okay, so that's that. And another one is the Long March 12. Okay, also launching from the Wenchang. This one, 17 August 2026, 10 a.m. And another one for the Chang'e 7 mission. Okay, this one another lunar 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 prop kind of mission. Okay, to the moon. This one on 24 August 2026 on 8 a.m. for the Long March 5 mission. For the using the Long March 5 rocket. Okay, another one as well. And another one is the MTG I2. If I remember, this is the Meteosat. Yeah, this one is for the Meteosat generation, third generation, if I remember correctly, of the satellite. Okay, launching on board the Ariane 662 rocket. Okay, the 2 solid rocket boosters configuration. Okay, this one I believe is the Block 1 configuration. Again, will be launching on 27 August 2026 from Guyana Space Center in French Guyana. Okay, and another one which should be very definitely going to happen is the launch of the Roman Space Telescope, or if you want to be very pedantic, the long name will have been around Nancy Grace Roman. Yeah, if I remember, Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope. Okay, NGRST. This already like decades of development by this point, and by this point really already completed. So all that's left is just to launch. Okay, this will be launched on board the Falcon Heavy rocket, which is, I can say, quite still, at least on the Falcon rocket series, the Falcon Heavy is really rare. So I can say, in comparison to the Falcon 9 and also Falcon Heavy, I like Falcon Heavy a lot, to be honest though, and much exciting in comparison to the Falcon 9. So this one will be launching from the Kennedy Space Center, located in Florida, USA, on 30 August on 2026 on 7 at around 7:20 p.m. here. Remember, all of these are. Remember, we remember that we in Sarawak, in Borneo, it's basically we are 8 hours ahead of the universal time coordinate. So the time and the date might change in your places, especially if you're visiting the new, not new, what am I talking about? Next space flight. It doesn't matter, web app or even the mobile app. You get the idea. And anyhow, that's basically it. I've already finished my stuff to speak out. So yeah, it's already good time to take rest. Yeah, as we are also going to stream another one as well, which will been tomorrow. I hope there's no weird time changes here. In case you are very interested. Yeah, it's going to be today. Yeah, in case you want to know why it says today, because we have already crosses 26 July 2026. Right now on Sunday we are at almost at 12:15 a.m. here by now, just few seconds before that. Okay, and this is so for today in the evening, at least in my place here, at 3:02 p.m. 3:02 p.m. it would have been Soyuz MS-28 undocking, and also a few hours later, which would have been around 3 hours and 24 minutes later, which would have been for the Soyuz MS-28 landing, and which one NASA astronaut, Christopher Williams, and two Roscosmos cosmonauts, Sergei Kuznetsov and also Sergei Mikhaev, will finally return back to Earth. I hope I didn't have to change any kinds of plan because this would have been very exciting for me to watch as well. So yeah, stay tuned. If I'm able to make it, I'm going to go publish the link as soon as possible, hopefully. And anyhow, it's time for me to go to sleep. I need some good rest. So thank you so much everybody for watching, and I really appreciate your support. It doesn't matter whether or not you're watching this on live or you're watching this on replay. I really do appreciate it. So thank you so much. And yeah, as I really need to take a break as well. I mean, not take a break. After this stream, I'm going to literally going to sleep. But before sleep, I'm going to put in the timestamp once going to where's the T minus 10 seconds and launch. Yeah. So after that comment, I'm straight up we'll go sleep because yeah, well, I need some good rest as well. So thank you so much everybody for watching, and stay safe and take care. Bye bye. And that's basically it. It's it is what it is, already finishing. And yeah, and also having a very good rest as well really helps me do this kind of commentary much properly. So that's why I need very better rest. So that's why it's very important. So you get the idea. Anyhow, I don't want to keep rambling. You can safely you can how do I say, you can safely exit from the stream. Just do whatever you want and enjoy your day. That's it. Bye bye. Take care. Stay safe.